We're back at it. It's Friday, 19th day of November, 2021. I'm Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on a foggy, cloudy, somewhat misty Friday morning. Had a little bit of light snow here on the valley floor. It isn't really sticking. Mountain passes are a mess. If you have to drive all over the mountain passes today, give yourself a couple extra hours before you depart because things are going to improve a great deal. Right now, it's a mess up in the Cascades. We'll take you up there with some live camera views and give you your latest pass report here in just a couple minutes. And the weather forecast, we're going to dry out. Going to even see some sunshine later on this afternoon. And a pretty calm and benign weekend heading our way before things get active again next week with another chance of maybe some snow next week for Thanksgiving week. It is Friday. You know what that means. We put together a 5-star show for you here at the NCW Live channel. We come in on Mondays and we work, and we don't work real hard. On Tuesdays, we kind of just do what we always do, which is like Monday. Wednesday, we lean forward a little bit. We try a little bit harder. Thursday, we try to get a little momentum going. Friday, 5-star shows or double your television viewing pleasure back 30 degrees outside of our studios. In the back half of the hour, I had a chance to visit my good buddy Dave Tosch, the executive director of the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. He's also the host of Vibrant Living, a program here on the NCW Live channel. The Christmas Cottage is open at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. One-of-a-kind gifts, cool stuff, antiques, collectibles, what have you. Looking for that special gift? We'll talk to Dave at the Christmas Cottage in the back half of the program. Here we go. I don't know what we can see out there. We're going to find out together. The cross camera looks something like that. Somewhere down there is the Wenatchee Valley. It hasn't gone anywhere. It wasn't that long ago that we could actually see a few things from the cross camera. And one of the reasons it looks a lot brighter than it is that that's pretty close to the cross itself. And of course, as you know, earlier in the year, they switched out the old halogen lights on the cross with LED lights. Makes it much brighter, much more vibrant, and that's what you're seeing, the reflection of those lights on the cross itself, reflecting off the clouds and the fog, which makes it look like it's nice and bright up there. Well, it is. It's kind of just a little disconcerting. It's really not that bright. Let's see what we have. I don't know. Camera 2. Ooh, gorgeous view. That's got to be Steins. The Steins camera looking down over Cashmere. It looks like Cashmere maybe had a little bit more snow. It looks like I will be canceling my tea time at the golf course in Cashmere. As I see it there, it's covered in snow. Everybody is covered in snow in Cashmere. It's good to see you. That's from the top of Steins Hill, looking back towards the Wenatchee Valley. Sunrise isn't up yet. It's not going to come up for another 8 minutes. Sunrise this morning, 7:12. Sunset this afternoon, 4:20. That's 9 hours and 8 minutes of daylight. Camera number 3. Ooh, hello, Lake Chelan. I want to say that's probably the lower Butte camera. We have 2 of them on the Chelan Butte, the upper Butte right at the very top. And then we have one a little bit lower down and a little bit closer to the hamlet of Chelan, and that's what we're looking at there as we look at over Lake Chelan, who looks like they got some snow as well in camera number 4. Billy Goat checks in with snow up in the Omak-Okanagan area. Again, the Alta Lake Golf Course, I'm pretty sure, is now closed for the season. All the golf courses closed for the season for the most part this week. It's just too cold. When it gets that cold, they don't want you to walk on the greens. You can damage it. You don't want to do that. Good morning to our friends up in Okanagan County on this cloudy, cool, misty Friday morning. Now, we still have that winter weather advisory. It is going to set to expire at 10 o'clock this morning. If you live in the purple area, you are being affected by the winter weather advisory. Right now, things are already starting to dry out. It stopped snowing at about 5 o'clock this morning here in Wenatchee. We've had a little bit of even light rain at times, lots of fog and low-hanging clouds, but there's still some lingering precipitation to the north of us and to the east of us. So we're still going to have a little bit of precipitation today, but this system is already beginning to leave the Wenatchee Valley, and we're going to have a flat ridge that's going to move in over the area, which means morning clouds and fog and afternoon sun for about the next 3 days or so. From the National Weather Service, here's what we're looking at. Again, clouds will be parting out later on today. We'll see some sun breaks. Not particularly warm. 38 is all we're going to get to. We hit 37 on Thursday. Normal high this time of the year is 43, so we'll be below that. And again, most of the snow, at least in the Wenatchee area, is done. Still some light snow coming down at the top of number 1 and number 2 canyon, a little bit on the heights up on Birch and Badger, but here on the valley floor, we're starting to dry out a little bit. 29 for the overnight low. We have the same pattern essentially on Saturday that we're going to have today. We'll have some clouds and some fog Saturday morning. It burns off to lots of sunshine and a high of 41, still a little bit below normal. 28 for the overnight low on Saturday night under partly cloudy skies. The clouds and the fog will not be burning off on Sunday. No precipitation in the forecast on Sunday, just kind of cloudy and foggy. And a high of about 40. Then we head into Gobble Gobble week, 44 under mostly sunny skies. After that morning fog burns off on Monday. And then things get a little active again on Tuesday and Wednesday and on Thanksgiving Day proper Thursday. But whatever precipitation we get because of the fairly mild temperatures will come down in the form of rain. Again, we will see some clearing skies later on today, and we're going to start drying out, and we'll see a few sun breaks before this day is over. Passes brought to you by D.A. Davidson, the strength of a trusted partner and personalized solutions to meet your financial needs. Member SIPC. That's a live shot of Stevens Pass, and yeah, it's a chain requirement on all vehicles except all-wheel drive. That's both directions. It is snowing. You have compact snow and ice on Stevens Pass, which was named after the very first territorial governor of the state of Washington, Isaac Pass. It's not very pleasant up there. Blewett has a traction tire requirement. It is snowing on Blewett Pass. You'll find compact snow and ice on the roadway there. It's not snowing nearly as hard on Blewett as it is on the other two passes, but it is snowing. Again, traction tires are required there. I-90 was closed for a while. They're open again. It's a chain requirement. On Snoqualmie Pass as well, it is snowing. You got to chain them up, unless you have an all-wheel drive rig. About 5 miles on either side of the summit. You pull over, you chain them up, you get over, you take the chains off, and you're good to go. Everything is going to improve greatly in the mountain passes today. Again, if you can put off your commute for a couple of hours, I would do it. The snow should be done by about 10 o'clock this morning, and then after that, that's it. So the plows will be able to get ahead of the game. And then there's really no snow at all to speak of until they get to Monday night. So it's going to start drying out, and it's going to be dry throughout the course of the weekend on the mountain passes, but they got to get there first. Again, to recap, Stevens Pass, chains required. Snoqualmie Pass, chains required. Blewett Pass, traction tires are required, but the snow will be tapering off by mid-morning, and they're not expecting any significant snowfall until they get to Monday night of next week. Okay, you're caught up on the weather, you're caught up on the passes, and we're going to get you caught up on what's made headlines over the course of the day yesterday with your news. It's 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Kids are resilient. I just love their energy. They bounce back so quickly. I love the stories they tell. I love just their charisma, their character. I love to see that subtle smile that you pull out of a kid, you know, when you start talking with them about something they really like. I just love what I do, and I can't imagine I would be as happy doing anything else.
Come enjoy the very best of the Chelan Valley. Combine award-winning wines, outstanding food, and music to create a memorable holiday experience. Chelan Cellars and Sorrento's Ristorante, your Tuscan paradise.
Tipsy Canyon Winery welcomes your family to our holiday celebration. Sit by the cozy fire with your favorite vintage and enjoy a magnificent view of the Chelan Valley. Our family looks forward to seeing your family this winter at Tipsy Canyon.
Misty, cloudy, foggy. I think I just wrote a song. It's 31 degrees outside of our studios. We're not going to get much warmer than where we are right now, 37, 38, but we will see some sun breaks later on today. Patchy fog and morning clouds with some afternoon sun breaks on Saturday, and mostly cloudy but dry on Sunday. 10 minutes after the hour, we begin with this story. A Quincy youth had to be airlifted to Sacred Heart Medical Center in Spokane after a two-car accident yesterday afternoon. This happened 5 miles south of Quincy. The Washington State Patrol reports that at about 3:45 yesterday afternoon, a 2006 Honda Civic was attempting to turn left from White Trail Road onto State Route 281 when it was struck on the driver's side by a 2000 Cadillac Escalade that was traveling southbound on the highway. Now, the driver of the Civic, 17-year-old Eduardo Ramirez Rodriguez of Quincy, was airlifted to Spokane with critical injuries. The two occupants of the Escalade, 45-year-old Agostino Maldonado and 48-year-old Gerardo Maldonado, both from Othello, were treated for injuries at Quincy Valley Medical Center. Rodriguez faces charges of failing to yield to the right-of-way. A Wenatchee man suspected of firing gunshots at another man in the 200 block of Boudry Street earlier this month was formally arraigned yesterday on a charge of first-degree assault. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies say 26-year-old Jesus Garibay fired a handgun at the intended victim, but missed. This happened about 6:30 in the evening of November 3rd. The victim, by the way, escaped on foot to safety. A local SWAT team was called up to arrest Garibay at his home on Terminal Avenue. He remains in jail on $500,000 bond. The State Department of Ecology says a Grant County farm has to pay a $2,000 fine for using water it had no rights to use. Metro Farms of Quincy legally sold its irrigation rights last spring, but illegally continued to divert water from that irrigation source to 22 acres of agricultural land well into the summer. The Department of Ecology says the illicit water use was detected in June. The department reported the find as part of its roundup of enforcement actions carried out by that department between July and September. Well, it's redistricting time. They do it every 10 years, and the Douglas County PUD has decided to pretty much keep things as they are. A proposal was put on the table in October to remap the PUD's districts to match those represented by Douglas County commissioners. The county's elected board of commissioners encouraged that option, saying it would be helpful to voters and ratepayers. But the PUD board decided at their November 8th meeting to maintain commissioner districts as they are, saying Douglas County's population has not shifted enough in the 2020 census to require new district maps. The current districts will remain in force for the next 10 years. Washington continues to make progress in the fight to vaccinate all eligible residents against the COVID-19 pandemic. Michelle Roberts is the Assistant Secretary with the State Department of Health and she says that those numbers are improving among adults and now kids.
I'm really happy to share that we continue to make progress every day, getting more people vaccinated and protected against COVID-19. 80% of people age 12 and older have received at least one dose of vaccine. So thrilled we've crossed that 80% mark, and more than 73% of that age group is fully vaccinated. We're also now starting to get a better look at the number of kids who are getting vaccinated across our state, which is information that will be added to DOH's data dashboard website soon. Since eligibility expanded earlier this month, more than 60,000 kids between the ages 5 and 11 have received their first dose of Pfizer vaccine. What's great is our pediatric vaccine supply is also increasing every day, which means it's becoming easier for families to find vaccine locations near them. To date, we've ordered about 500,000 doses of pediatric vaccine, which includes an extra 50,000 doses we specifically requested from the federal government to help us keep up with demand. There couldn't be a better time to get your child vaccinated. If they get their first dose this week, they'll be fully vaccinated before the new year and much more protected from the worst outcomes of COVID illness. To schedule an appointment, you can reach out to your child's pediatrician, your healthcare provider, your local pharmacy, or mobile clinics. To find vaccine locations near you, visit the state's vaccine locator website or vaccines.gov. Type in your zip code, and at the top page, you can filter results to show Pfizer pediatric vaccine locations near you.
And finally, on this Friday morning, my girlfriend's closet is back after 2 delays because of COVID-19. It takes place this weekend beginning today, and earlier this week, I had a chance to head on down to the Town Toyota Center and talk with my good friend Corey Batista about the Women's Service League and their biggest fundraiser of the year.
We are at the Town Toyota Center, no longer at the old Hastings building. We moved down here last weekend. It was an incredible feat, but we did it. Our members and other community volunteers, including the Wild Boys, helped us get all the stuff down here. So we're opening this Friday, 9 to 7, Saturday, 9 to 7, and Sunday, 1 to 3. So all of our merchandise that was ready to go down at the old Hastings building is now here. And so the fact that we have been on hold for, almost 2 years at this point, we couldn't be more excited to be back. And, our donation, or the money that we raise, does go to help nonprofits in the community. women and children that need our help. And as you know, those organizations are really in need at this point. It's free admission. People keep asking about tickets. There are no tickets. When the doors open at 9 o'clock, you do not need a ticket. Everybody can come in. There's no preview party. And I think the biggest thing is that in order to come into Girlfriend's Closet, we are at the north side of the building. So the VIP entrance, so not the front door where you come in to go to concerts or Wenatchee Wild games. It's on the other side.
It's good to have that event back and the good work that the Women's Service League of North Central Washington does. And that is the news at 16 minutes after the hour. It's been a busy news week. I have a feeling this Friday will be no different, but we will have a newscast for you at 5, 6, and 10 with a preview. Here's the anchor, Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, the wet weather should end later today, and then things look pretty nice for the weekend. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom previews tonight's Kraken game and looks ahead to this weekend's Seahawks-Cardinals NFL matchup. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thank you very much, Grant. And don't forget, you're not locked into those times. You can watch our newscast via our Facebook page. You can watch it on our homepage. We get it up and running there. We have a YouTube page. So if you want to watch the news from the beginning to the end and you want to watch it at 6:18 at night, you can do it. It's entirely up to you. We try to make it as easy as possible for you to get caught up with what's happening here in North Central Washington. You got a news tip, you got a comment, look at the bottom of your screen. Go to our Facebook page, drop us a note via Messenger, email us directly, or go to our homepage and fill out the form. It's pretty basic. After a quick 1-minute break, we're coming back with sports, the obscure holiday today in history, some celebrity birthdays. Everybody's entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. And Dave Tosch, the executive director of the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center, will be my guest because the Christmas cottage is open. We'll have all that for you between now and the top of the hour. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill, located in East Wenatchee. Highlander Golf Course has added 2 state-of-the-art full-swing simulators. Food and drink service is available from our full-service bar and grill, offering breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Indoor and outdoor seating available. Call Shalane, our on-site coordinator, to schedule your special event.
I'm Dr. Wayne Latimer. I'm a chiropractic physician. I have postgraduate certifications in both whiplash, trauma and rehab, as well as sports medicine. The location is great. The light and the visibility, the 17-foot ceilings are fantastic. You can go into a lot of clinics and it's very clinical. People really like the spa environment, so my whole premise was take a spa environment, add the very serious rehab, and give people an enjoyable way to get better over time.
Eighteen minutes after the hour, we'll begin with the Les Schwab men's college basketball scoreboard. From last night, of course, the Cougar men took that long plane ride from Pullman to Moscow. They took a bus. Noah Williams led 6 Cougars to double figures, Washington State cruising to a 109-61 win over Idaho, the Battle of the Palouse last night. Muhammad Ghaii and Michael Flowers each had 13 points. Wazoo winning the 277th meeting between the two schools. That's the longest rivalry in the country. Graham Ike scored a season-high 26 points, and Wyoming pulled away in overtime to beat the Huskies 77-72. Terrell Brown Jr. scored 21 of his 30 points in the second half, and in overtime, the UW dropping to 2-2 on the year with the loss. The only game on the schedule for the men this weekend tonight. Number 1 Gonzaga will host Bellarmine in the McCarthy Athletic Center at 6 o'clock. Coming up on the women's schedule tomorrow, 10th-ranked Louisville and Cashmere's Haley Van Lith will be at Washington. At 2 o'clock on Sunday, 7th-ranked Stanford plays at Gonzaga. At 1 o'clock, Washington State and Idaho pick up the women's part of the Battle of the Palouse at 2 o'clock Sunday on ESPN+. The Wenatchee Panther volleyball team, they're in Yakima as we speak, getting ready for this morning's first round of the State 4A tournament. Coach Marnie McMahon says the biggest challenge has been keeping the girls sharp because they haven't played volleyball in a couple of weeks.
I've never experienced that before. It's always been a week off. We had to be super creative with staying competitive, but doing a lot of situational stuff in practice. But yeah, it's tough. And we've had a lot of that lagging. I mean, even between our end of the league and districts, we also had that issue. So we just have to be super creative as a coaching staff to keep the girls active and keep them competitive.
For Panthers seniors Addie Schultz, Irene Branham, and Abby Black, the 2 weeks off has actually been good. They can rest and get ready.
No, it's actually kind of nice because our level in the gym is much higher than the teams that we've actually played. So just competing against each other is the best thing for us for those 2 weeks. It was the smartest thing to just be ready.
And it has seemed like forever, but I think we've taken advantage of it. You know, we do districts a week earlier than a lot of teams, so it's been nice to have that extra training.
For me, it's been really good. At the beginning, I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so long. That's so long to just not have a competitive game. But I mean, we have coaches that played college volleyball, and they've been hopping on the court with us, which brings the level up a lot. Even just we have 13 girls on our team, so we can play 6-on-6, and it's super competitive. So it went by really fast. Like now that I'm here, we're leaving soon. I'm like, oh my gosh, that flew by, even though I thought it was going to drag out. So it didn't.
Wenatchee's only state title in volleyball came in 1983. In 1982, they finished fourth. And in 1978, they came in, they took third in 1982 and fourth in 1978. My man says the girls are completely aware about how special it would be to bring home some hardware.
I mean, it's a pretty special opportunity for these kids, definitely. I tried to explain to them the feeling it is when you bring home hardware and what it means to represent your community. And it's something that Wenatchee Panthers haven't had in the volleyball program for a long time. So they're hopeful that they can represent their school well and their community well. And we're going to do our best.
The Panthers senior girls getting a little giddy when they think about the potential that they have over the next couple of days.
I'd probably be bawling like a baby, that's for sure. All the emotions would be so overwhelming. I wouldn't even be able to express them. I can't, even thinking about it right now gives me chills. It's something I've always dreamt of, so I'm excited.
It's been one of my dreams, actually. It'd be a super, super special moment. We visualized, what it would be like, and honestly, I don't think we don't know what the feeling would be like until we're there. I've been told it's a super, super special feeling, and it'd be a memory I would remember.
I mean, I've never been there, but that would be wild. I can just imagine all of us running on the court, cheering, screaming, having the big trophy, and then being able to take it home would be amazing. The best feeling ever.
Amanda is in her second season coaching the Wenatchee Panthers. She led Cascade's program to 6 state trophies and the state championship back in 2013. She says the Panthers have what it takes to win it all.
As many years as I've been at a state tournament, I can tell you this, anything can happen at state. So, the number draw, the RPI systems, they're great, but there's upsets happen all the time. And so what I would I told these kids, they're capable of anything. Do I think we can go and win the whole thing? Absolutely. Do I think we can bring, a trophy home? Absolutely. So it's just about whether we can perform better on that day than our opponents. I think these girls are capable of a lot, but it's who shows up, really, is what it comes down to. So we just got to take one game at a time.
My man says she's trying to get the girls to focus on one game at a time and not get too far ahead of themselves.
So we have a motto, is stay in the moment. And that's been our motto all season, taking one match at a time and being mentally, physically ready for that one match. And it still applies to state right now. They have their scouting reports, they have their binders, they have teams' information in there, but we're focused on that first match, which is Mount Rainier. And we got to get through that one first before we can move on. So it's really important that they stay in the moment. They don't get overwhelmed with the draw or the other teams we potentially could be playing. We got to take care of business at that 8:45 game, and then we can move on depending on how we do.
Wenatchee and Mount Rainier will do battle this morning. If Wenatchee loses, they'll play the loser of the West Valley and Lake Stevens match at 5:45 this afternoon. If the Panthers win, they'll take on the winner of the Rams and the Vikings at 8:45 tonight. The state 2A volleyball tournament is going on as we speak. In fact, let me check right now. Ellensburg against White River. White River won the first set, 25 to 19. Lose, and Ellensburg plays at 2:15 this afternoon. If they win, they're in the quarterfinals At 4:15, a Freitas match against Anacortes gets underway at 8:45 this morning. Win or lose, they'll play again at 4:15 against either Mark Morris or Columbia River. All right, the state football playoffs continue. For the small schools, Okanagan will take on Columbia Burbank tonight, leave off the field at the Apple Bowl. State 2B quarterfinals kick off at 7 o'clock. Liberty Bell has a date with Odessa tomorrow afternoon in Moses Lake. The Mountain Lions quarterfinal game in the State 1B tournament kicks off at Lions Field at 3 o'clock. The college football weekend kicks off tonight. It'll be cold and wet in Pullman. The Cougars kick off against Arizona on the Pac-12 Network. 6 o'clock kickoff. Forecast in Pullman tonight, rain and temperatures in the upper 30s. Central Washington is in Missouri. The first round of the NCAA Division II playoffs. The Wildcats will take on Northwest Missouri State tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. And the Huskies are at Colorado at noon on the Pac-12 Network. Eastern Washington is at Portland State at 2 o'clock. Seattle Kraken trying to snap their losing streak. They've lost 5 in a row. They'll be at Climate Pledge Arena tonight. It'll be rockin'. Kraken Avalanche. They drop the puck at 7 o'clock on ESPN+. Speaking of hockey, the local group, the Wenatchee Wild, has a busy weekend. They'll be in Nanaimo tonight at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow they travel to Victoria to take on the Grizzlies at 7 o'clock, and then they wrap up the weekend Sunday afternoon at 2:30 in Langley against the Rivermen. You can listen to the games locally on radio at 560 KPQ or 1340 The Hawk. You can also watch online if you subscribe to Hockey TV. And the Seahawks have a daunting task on Sunday. Cardinals are in town at Lumen Field. Seattle last in their division. They're 3-6. The Cardinals first. At 8-2, Kyler Murray expected to be back in the lineup at quarterback for Arizona. Russell Wilson will start his second game after his finger surgery. Kickoff 1:25 on Fox. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this 19th day of November. Happy World Toilet Day. Today, there's actually a World Toilet Organization. Didn't even know it. Yeah, there's a lot of jokes. I'm not going to do any of those because this is serious stuff, because 2.5 billion people on this planet do not have proper sanitation. And that leads to all kinds of diseases, not to mention diarrhea. That's right, about one person out of every 3 on this planet have to do their business right out there in the open. Not only does it destroy human dignity, it's also, you should have a basic human right to clean water and clean food and clean sanitation. You should. Way too many people don't. 300,000 children under the age of 5 die every year because they do not have proper sanitation. Most of them die from diarrhea. That comes out to about 1,000 children dying every day on this planet because they do not have access to proper sanitation. It's no joke, World Toilet Day. It's an amazing number, isn't it? 28 minutes after the hour, today in history, they were dedicating the Gettysburg Military Cemetery. November 19th, 1863, the keynote speaker, Edward Everett, one of the great orators of his time, spoke for 2 hours. 2 hours. He spoke 13,607 words over 2 hours, Edward Everett did. He sat down, and then this Abe Lincoln guy, the President of the United States, stood up and talked for just 271 words, the Gettysburg Address, delivered on this date, perhaps the most famous speech in American history. Despite the fact that it's such a great speech, and it is a fantastic speech, its exact wording really isn't known. There are 5 known manuscripts in Abraham Lincoln's own handwriting, and none of the 5 are exactly the same. There's little details that are different. And contemporary newspaper accounts of the speech are also somewhat different. So what Abe said exactly isn't really known, but it's a really, really good speech. The Gettysburg Address, delivered on this date 158 years ago today. 23 years ago today, the United States House of Representatives, the Judiciary Committee began the process of hearings to impeach President Bill Clinton. The process began on this date 23 years ago today. We all know what happened. Birthdays at the bottom of the hour. We always do presidents. James Garfield didn't really get a chance to make much of an impact as the President of the United States because he had the misfortune of getting shot. James Garfield, the 20th President of the United States, born in the state in 1831. He is the only, to this day, the only sitting member of the House of Representatives to be elected the president. And he and JFK are the only two presidents who died before the age of 50. Both of them, of course, were assassinated. James Garfield, born in the state in 1831. Larry King, we lost Larry in January at the age of 87. The Larry King Show, the all-night radio broadcast for you radio nuts out there in the Mutual Broadcasting System, was terribly popular. I used to listen to it on the Mutual feed when I was in radio. We could listen to it in an audition on the mixing board. Then, of course, from 1985 to 2010, he hosted Larry King Live on CNN. Larry King, born in the state in 1933. Ted Turner, speaking of CNN, the guy who founded CNN and TBS and TNT and Turner Classic Movies and the MGM Library, and former owner of the Atlanta Braves and a yachtsman and a bit of an eccentric. Ted Turner is 83 years old today. At one point, he was the largest private land owner in the United States. He is no longer, but his ranch in New Mexico, the Vermejo Park Ranch in New Mexico at 920 square miles, is the largest privately owned contiguous piece of property in the United States. Ted Turner, 83 years old today. Allison Janney, man, her mantle is full of awards. She has an Academy Award, 7 Primetime Emmy Awards, a BAFTA Award, a Golden Globe Award, 7 Screen Actor Guilds Awards, 6 Critics' Choice Awards, 2 Drama Desk Awards, and others. She's good. She's 62 years old today. And Jodie Foster, she herself has a couple of Academy Awards and some Golden Globes and the Screen Actors Guild Award and a few others as well. Jodie Foster, 59 years old today. 32 minutes after the hour. Mark Magnotti has got an opinion, and then my visit with Dave Tosch. We went down to the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center earlier in the week to check out the Christmas cottage. It's open and ready for your business. Dave Tosch and I had a nice conversation. We'll have that for you when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
The Clearwater Saloon and Casino is the perfect place to meet in East Wenatchee. The Old West theme takes you back in time with casino gambling and poker tables. And now you can play the best games on or off the tables. Stop by and check out the new game room. All your favorite games and extended late night hours makes the Clearwater your best bet for a great time. And if time slips away having so much fun, stay the night next door at the Cedars Inn. It's all here nightly at the Clearwater Saloon and Casino in East Wenatchee.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the Diagnostic Doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Bear Foods is the small town store with the big time inventory. Join the growing movement to better nutrition with everything you need to improve your well-being. Bear Foods is more than a health food store. It's your good food store in downtown Chelan.
For the most unique wine tasting experience in the Chelan Valley, visit One Wines. Popular for being the smallest and most intimate facility in the valley, it features one red, one white, and one rosé. Complex wines, simple elegance.
Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around north central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
Are you frustrated because you feel like you aren't getting the internet speeds you pay for? One of the most common ways to test your internet connection is called a speed test. These are free and easily located on the internet and can tell you how fast your internet is. However, for certain reasons, these tests may not always be accurate. A speed test shows you how fast a file can be downloaded to the computer you're running the test on. However, there are many things that can affect the speed of that download besides the speed of the internet going into your home. A few of the things that can affect your internet speed are poor Wi-Fi signal, other wireless signals interfering with the wireless signals coming from your router, other devices in your home draining your bandwidth, your computer or phone running apps programs in the background that you aren't aware of, slowing your entire device. Any of these things can slow down your internet. Your internet is like water flowing down a pipe. There's a big pipe bringing internet to your local area, and a smaller pipe coming off of that bringing internet to your home address. Your router is just another pipe that brings the internet inside your house, and every device inside your home is like a pipe connected to the router. Just like with water, if any of those pipes along the way are too small for the amount of internet that needs to flow through for a family, the flow for everything down the line will be much slower. It's a lot like trying to push all the water going into your house through a small straw. Also, again, just like with water, if everyone in your home is using the internet at once, any individual device may not be able to receive the full flow of the internet. It's like your whole family trying to drink out of that small straw all at once. If you're struggling with internet that is slower than expected, make sure that all of the devices that your internet flows through are working correctly, and check all devices in your home for background programs that may be using the internet. If everything still appears to be working correctly, contact us and we'll be able to help.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I recently read a book about serious issues of domestic violence in our society. And now this is an issue close to me. I've been dealing with domestic abuse issues as a cop and as a therapist for most of my adult life. And at one point, the author of this book stated that Republicans didn't care about abused women because they didn't vote for some funding for domestic abuse victims programs. No, whoa, wait a minute. Now, isn't it possible that the politicians who didn't vote for these programs simply didn't believe that federal funds should be spent in that manner, not because they hated women? To make a derogatory conclusion about any politician because they don't feel that money should be spent on what you think money should be spent on is part of the divisive logic that's detrimental to mature problem thinking. Now, I have worked to stop domestic violence against women for decades, and I don't think all proposed programs in this area should be paid for by the feds. What does that make me, a woman hater? Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and that's my opinion.
Mary Maids of Wenatchee has been professionally cleaning and sanitizing homes and businesses in north central Washington since 1998. Mary Maids uses commercial-grade cleaners and viricides. Mary Maids has implemented additional safety and sanitation protocols. They are strictly following CDC guidelines for the safety of their clients and employees. For expert help with cleaning and sanitizing your home or business, call or look up Mary Maids of Wenatchee to schedule your free estimate today.
Counterplay inside, picking his way back to the 10, to the 5. High school sports is back, and NCW Life Channel's got you covered. Tune in for football, girls soccer, and volleyball right here. Thanks to our sponsors, Harvest Valley Pest Control, Rivercom 911, and Sangster Motors. Follow all the action of high school sports on your local TV station, the NCW Life Channel. 14, they come back.
You know,
I have different people in the community come up and tell me that they've seen our commercial. I took my family up to Yodelin up in Leavenworth, and we walk in, and it's a Monday night, so Monday Night Football is playing, and all of a sudden, our commercial starts airing. And my kids couldn't believe it. They're like, Dad, you are on Monday Night Football. This is unbelievable. You know, we know somebody famous. Like, my respect level just went way up in my kids' eyes.
We have, over the last year, realized how important Apple Blossom is, how important those Friday football games are, and being a part of that community and being able to support those activities happening is very important to us.
One of our real passions as a business is to serve our community well and at the same time promote our brand. And I feel like NCW Life allows you to do that with some of the different opportunities that they give you. There's ways to help us build community while at the same time promoting your brand.
Saturday, December 4th, RLS Productions presents the West Coast Best Bon Jovi and Journey tribute bands at the Wenatchee Convention Center. Non-Jovi will bring back the stadium rock of the 80s, and the Infinity Project celebrates Journey, one of rock and roll's greatest hitmakers. Guests may enjoy an exquisite dinner before the concert or just the concert. Dinner and concert tickets are available at rlstickets.com. That's rlstickets.com.
Who are you talking to? I told you, knock it off!
End the cycle. Call SAGE, Safety, Advocacy, Growth, and Empowerment. Get private, anonymous counseling. Learn how SAGE can help you. Receive legal assistance and protection. SAGE also offers a safe place for you and your children. Of course, a hug from Hank always helps. SAGE can help you move on with your life. Call SAGE today.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We're here at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center on Maple Street. The main Senior Activity Center remains closed because of COVID issues, but the gift shop, the Christmas cottage, is open again, and we're here on this Monday as we tape this. Couldn't find a parking spot, Dave Tosch, the Executive Director of the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. That's a champagne problem to have, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we just got the Christmas cottage open on Saturday. We had a special event. Tickets were sold for that event and had a really good day. But I can assure you our shelves remain stocked, fully stocked, and we're looking forward to a really good Christmas season here in the thrift store.
So to refresh my memory, did we even have a Christmas thrift store last year during the COVID?
We did, and we're doing it very similar as to what we did last year. And we spread things out because of COVID. You know, that's really nice to be able to do that.
Yeah, you've set up some temporary partitions, and it actually, when you park outside, you go, this is too tiny. And then you come inside, there's actually a lot of square footage of stuff here.
Yeah. So we have spread things out, and again, you know, because of the social distancing and all of those things that we have to consider, it's working out really well for us. And it'll be very similar to what we did last year.
And the first thing you'll notice when you come in here is there's all kinds of stuff that you're not going to find anywhere. Some cool vintage stuff, some really unique, one-of-a-kind items that can only be found here.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, you know, we've all heard the concerns about are the shelves going to be fully stocked for Christmas this year because of all the shipping issues. Well, we're going to be fully stocked. I can assure you, we had a lot of donations of Christmas items this last year. We store all that stuff throughout the year. We bring it all out and we stock it, and we're good to go for the next several weeks.
Yeah, and in a couple of minutes, we're actually going to take you behind the scenes just so you people know you don't have to rush down here and run red lights to get the cool items because you're constantly restocking. That's the key.
Every day, all day long, we're going to keep the shelves stocked.
Just saw a lovely young lady walk out with a cool, old-fashioned Santa outfit. That's exactly the kind of thing we're talking about.
Yeah.
All kinds of curios, ornaments, lights that you can't find anywhere else.
Yep, And you know, the vintage stuff was well made. I'm not saying anything bad about current inventories, but we have some really unique and nice stuff, you know, and if it's not nice, we don't put it out.
Exactly. If it's junk, it's junk. But if it's nice, it's nice. I guess that begs the question, Dave, where does this stuff come from?
Well, all year long, we take in donations. People cleaning out their attic or their storage rooms, closets, you know,
They're
whatever.
downsizing.
And we have a container that we store all this stuff in, and then we open it up and bring it all in. We have it all in Apple boxes. A lot of it's already priced and organized, so it's easy to get back out on the shelf once we start selling it all.
So how many man hours do your volunteers and the people who work here put together? I mean, this has got to be a lot of work.
We've dedicated 3 staff. They've been working on this now for 3 weeks, and so yeah, you can add those numbers up. It's pretty awesome. A lot of volunteers, and I want to give a shout out to our volunteers who make this really work. Most of our staff are cashiering and doing stuff like that and organizing things, but the real work is our volunteers coming out here and helping us out.
Now, we would be remiss, again, I'm talking to Dave Tosch, the Executive Director of the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. The Senior Activity Center is closed, and it has been since the COVID-19 pandemic began. Any idea where we're going forward on this? Are you looking for certain parameters before you can throw the doors back open again for food and bingo and that stuff?
Yeah, our biggest concern is that it's a very busy place, and we are going to be putting a plan together to open up after the first of the year. It'll be a kind of one of those things they talk about nowadays, phased reopening, you know, where we're going to be pretty selective about what we do, and we're going to learn from that, and then hopefully we're going to get back to some sense of normal by springtime, we think.
Well, we know your patrons miss you a great deal. I mean, the folks who basically for them, this is a second home to come down here and see friends and eat and do all kinds of cool activities. They've been able to do that for almost close to 2 years now, Dave.
And I miss that too. That's one of the reasons I took this position 8 years ago, was because I grew up in the Valley and know so many of the folks, and it's been a lot of fun for me, and not so much fun here recently. So we're going to get her going again.
And it should be pointed out, of course, Dave is still doing the weekly Vibrant Living program, which keeps you in the loop of what's going on here at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. We're proud to have it here on the NCW Life channel. That's well done. Even though you're on it, Dave, it's still well done.
Yeah, I find myself on there way too much. And you know how it is. You don't like to see yourself broadcast or listen to yourself talk. So that's been a challenge for me.
What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and then Dave and I are going to take you behind the scenes, a place that's not accessible to the general public, just so you folks know that, yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. As we talked about before, you don't have to run down and grab all the cool stuff because you're constantly filling up the shelves with all kinds of stuff. So we can't stress that enough. So we're going to do that when we come back. We're at the Christmas Cottage here at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center, the thrift shop behind the building in the back parking lot, and we'll be right back with Dave Tosch.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill, located in East Wenatchee. Highlander Golf Course has added 2 state-of-the-art full-swing simulators. Food and drink service is available from our full-service bar and grill, offering breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Indoor and outdoor seating available. Call Shalane, our on-site coordinator, to schedule your special event.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires, reminding you that changing seasons can mean changing road conditions. Introducing the brand new Backcountry AT2 for a quieter ride with improved performance in wet conditions. Because when it comes to keeping your family safe, the right tires help you feel prepared for anything. Seriously, anything. Now save up to $130 when you buy Quatrac tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Raising a family may have seemed overwhelming to your parents, but they weren't. Coach, teacher, life guide, caregiver. Family takes care of family. And as the circle of life continues, you now are their caregiver. It may seem overwhelming, but we're here to help you find the support services necessary so you can provide quality care to your elders.
Call Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington at 1-800-572-4459.
Come enjoy the very best of the Chelan Valley. Combine award-winning wines, outstanding food, and music to create a memorable holiday experience. Chelan Cellars and Sorrento's Ristorante, your Tuscan paradise.
Tipsy Canyon Winery welcomes your family to our holiday celebration. Sit by the cozy fire with your favorite vintage and enjoy a magnificent view of the Chelan Valley. Our family looks forward to seeing your family this winter at Tipsy Canyon.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We're now in the main room of the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center, which, of course, as we mentioned before, is already closed to the public. But this is where the action is behind me, Dave. This is a perfect example of what we're talking about. You're getting a constant influx of items that is cleaned, polished, decided what it is and where it goes, and then it goes out on the shelves.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff here that's still going to go on the shelves between now and Christmas.
Exactly. And so I just want to convey the idea that we are not going to run out of inventory for our Christmas cottage. And we've got folks processing this stuff all day long and making sure the shelves remain full. But what this has allowed us to do is spread things out so that we have staff being able to distance and get it all done. And that's really been a big help to have this additional space right now.
As Dave mentioned before, the Christmas cottage is a seasonal thing. They break it out right before Thanksgiving and they go all the way through the Christmas holidays, and then all the Christmas related stuff you get stored. In the meantime, all the regular stuff that you find at the thrift store, still here. Oh, yeah. You're loaded with books, you're loaded with clothes, with knickknacks, with DVDs and CDs, all kinds of stuff, not just necessarily Christmas related items.
Exactly. So the store remains open for all the normal inventory, but we just make a big deal out of this Christmas cottage because it does boost our sales by quite a bit.
Well, if today's any indication, yeah, you're doing just fine, Dave.
Yeah, we got a lot of folks shopping today.
Before we cut you loose, what are the protocols? What do people need to know before they come down here to the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center thrift shop? All begin. You park around back. You just look for all the cars and all the people. Yeah. That's simple enough. You can't get access through the main door. What are some of the things that people need to know? We'll start with masks.
The mask is really critical for us to allow as many people in as we can, but we have to have folks masked. So that's a requirement. And I just mentioned again, our hours are the same as they have been, Monday through Friday, 9 to 4. We are not open on the weekends. And that's worked out really well for us, is, keeping those hours the same. So other than that, yeah, we're trying to keep people's, the distancing is important, and I know it gets a little crowded at times. We're trying to manage all that, and I think we did it last year. We'll do it again this year.
One last question for Dave Tosch, and I'll cut you loose because I know you're a busy guy. Donations. People are always coming by that door on the side, room D, to bring in stuff. Is that still something you're welcoming folks to do? As long as you got the square footage, bring it in?
Yeah, there has been a few occasions where we had to tail that off a little bit and take a break. We had so much to process, but now we're back on track. And so, yeah, we take our donations in through the corner of the building where there's a sign said, donation drop off. So. Yeah, it's working great.
Good. Again, the Christmas Cottage, Monday through Friday. They're not open on Saturdays and Sundays for all those unique, one-of-a-kind Christmas gifts, vintage old lights, vintage old ornaments, old stockings and things like that, stuff that you can't find and don't want to find at your Targets and your Walmarts. Nothing against Targets and Walmarts, but this is going to, as soon as you walk in the door, Christmas spirit kind of comes there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It's like walking into Santa's toy shop.
Yeah. A little bit of Christmas music added on top in the background, so yeah, it all helps. And I know that a lot of people complain about getting an early start on Christmas, but it's really important and for us to boost our sales with the Christmas cottage. So.
And who knows, you might find your next family heirloom right here, something you'll be handing down from generation to generation right here at the Christmas Cottage. Dave Tosch, Executive Director of the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center, also the host of Vibrant Living, a regular program here on the NCW Life Channel. Dave, it's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, and thank you so much for taking time to come by and check us out.
Anytime, Dave, you want a little time on my program, call ahead.
All right.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
ColorFX has moved their shop to a larger location to expand their services, including adding in a state-of-the-art large format printer. They got it. You need banners? They got them. You need vinyl decals for your cars, trucks, vans, or trailers in just about any size? Yeah, they got it. ColorFX has also been providing fun swag and clothing for local churches and high schools around our valley for decades. Support your local print shop. Call ColorFX in Cashmere today.
Don't make plans to store your boat for the off-season until you've checked out the Super Package from Bob File Boats and Motors. With this package, you just drop your boat off for winterizing, and they take it from there. When you pick it up in the spring, it'll be ready to go for the next season. There are too many features in the Super Package to list here, so get the details. 509-884-3558.
Bob File Boats and Motors, we're dealing. Bob File's gonna make you smile.
Opioids are now one of the leading causes of injury-related deaths in Washington state. More people die from overdose than from car crashes. Between 2012 and 2016, more than 3,300 lives in Washington were lost to opioid overdose. We are all part of the solution. Your choices matter. If you are prescribed an opioid pain medication, talk with your doctor about other options, and don't share your prescriptions with other people. It starts with you. Learn more at getthefaxrx.com.
Hello, North Central Washington. I'm Dave Tosch, Executive Director, Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center, and I'm excited to announce a new variety show entitled Vibrant Living, brought to you by the Senior Center. And I think you'll find it educational, informative, and a lot of fun. Join us for the new program, Vibrant Living.
In a world afraid of technology, one man, one show. We'll bring you the newest innovations that may just change your life. This summer, Ray McNeil, and your Weekly Tech Update is your Weekly Tech Update with Ray McNeil.
I'm John Divis from Wenatchee Dental Arts, and I like to think myself as a comprehensive dentist. We are an office that treats people comprehensively for their dental problems. We do a lot of general dentistry in a broad sense. We don't send everything out. Things that we have the ability to do in the office, we like to keep in the office and under one roof and keep things as complication-free as possible. You can come to one place and have all their dental needs taken care of.
That's an awfully pretty view behind me. I don't know what exactly we're looking at, but now that the sun is up and we're starting to get a little brighter and the snow is all but tapered off here in North Central Washington, let's go ahead and take one more little mini tour. We couldn't see this an hour ago. That camera was completely fogged over, our cross camera, but as I mentioned when we did the weather forecast, we'll eventually see some skies clearing out and drying off. And we're not going to have such a bad weekend. In fact, some sunshine coming your way on Saturday once the clouds of the fog burn off. Forecast details are coming up. Good morning to the Wenatchee Valley with Wenatchee, taking most of the information on your screen this morning on this Friday. Where are we off to? This is kind of cool. Is that Badger? That's Badger. So we're looking back again towards Wenatchee. As you can see, the foothills on the west side of the Wenatchee Valley got a pretty good dose of snow, as did the Cascades. From our Badger Mountain camera, looking almost due west. That's Wenatchee that you see down there. Camera number 3. Can't quite see East Wenatchee, is blocked by the ridge. It looks to be the Manson Water Tower. Hey, I'm guessing good this morning. Good morning, Lake Chelan. How are you? You got some snow up there. Everybody did, really, and it's going to be melting off. Camera number 4. Ooh, number 1 Canyon? Or is that Monitor? That's Monitor pointed back towards the Wenatchee Valley. The Sleepy Hollow area is in your view. That's a nice, good work this morning from Uriah, who pushes the button and pushes them very well. Now, we still have this winter weather advisory. And we also have that plane. So we're not done with the wintry weather quite yet. The winter weather advisory expires at 10 o'clock this morning. The purple area is your winter weather advisory area. But again, we're already starting to see the weather improve a great deal. Let's go ahead and take a look at that forecast one more time. Snow level is already starting to go up. It'll be about 2,700 feet here in the next couple of hours. We'll see some sun breaks this afternoon. We'll top off at 38, 29 for the overnight low tonight. Fog and clouds Saturday morning, sunshine Saturday afternoon, highs in the lower 40s. Nothing but clouds on Sunday, but no precipitation either. And then unsettled and milder weather expected on Gobble Week. That is it for us. Have a great weekend. We will see you Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.